An Introduction to Autodesk Inventor 2013. In this tutorial I'll show you how to get started with Autodesk Inventor and make your first drawing. So to begin with, when it first starts up, you'll get this display at startup. I'm just going to uncheck this and click close. So this is the working environment. So this is what's called the browser. This is where you're going to work in. You're going to have different menus up at the top, so different tabs with different ribbons on here. Okay, to get started, you have three ways to open a new file. One is from the application menu here and go new, and you can see there'll be assembly, drawing, part, presentation. The other way, I'm just going to click here for a second. The other way is just go to new, and you can see standard part. And the other final way is right here under new, and you get the same screen. So I'm going to start here with create new file, and this is called a standard part. And I'll go create. So your browser, your work area, your different tabs, your different ribbons. So you'll always start the exact same way. You're going to go create 2D sketch. And when you select this, what's going to happen is this is your top view. This will be your right view. Okay, your front view, and this will be your right view. So when I click on this, okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to go into what's called sketch mode. And sketch mode now, you can see it says sketch, and there's all these different drawing tools. Okay, now down over here, you're going to see that there is an actual sketch. Okay, and it's called sketch. So I'm just going to rename this right now by double clicking, and I'm just going to call this box for something to do. Okay, so now I have a name for the part that I'm doing. Right, so my first little sketch, very simple. I'm going to do a circle. I'm going to click on the center here. You can see it snaps to green, and I'm just going to bring it out. I'm going to hit the dimension button because you're always going to dimension things in here. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say that that is 1 inch, okay, or 1. And then once I'm done my sketch, I will finish. Okay, so now I have my sketch. It's in 2-dimensional, and what I do is I come up to here and go extrude. And once I hit extrude, now you can see that I've extruded it to 3D. And I can do some different things in here, and I can change the height. So I'm going to put 0.5 here. Okay, you can see it lowers. I can actually grab this arrow here and I can drag it the other way. Okay, there's different things we'll do in here, but we'll talk about that later. So we're just going to go back to this and put 0.5. Okay, and we hit OK. All right, so now we have our part that we've drawn. Now let's talk about some things. So this is our model tree, or our browser, and you can see now that that one called box has been extruded. Okay, you might want to rename things sometimes and call it, box extruded. That way it just helps you when you have like 30 or 40 parts to a piece in here. Right? A couple other things, if we want to start viewing this, this here is called the view cube. So if I want to go to the front of it, it will do that. If I want to kind of rotate around, there's the top view. Right? So if I wanted to go around all the way, there's my back view. Okay, if I want to go back to my home position, there it is there. Okay, this is called my, down here is called my status bar. Okay, this is my menu bar here. Now what I can do is if these things disappear by accident, so for example, my model tree here, oops, it's gone. Uh-oh, how do I get it back? You have to come up to view and then user interface. And you can see that my browser disappeared. Okay, my navigation bar, there it is, now it comes back. My view cube, there it is, now it comes back. Okay, so there's different ways if things disappear to get them back, but again, that's under view and user interface. Now go back to 3D model. So now you can see all the ribbons again, and if I hold my shift key down and hold my scroll button down on my mouse, you can see that I can rotate around. Okay. If I scroll my mouse in and out, you can say, so that's going up, that's going down. And if I lose my part, all I do is come up to my view cube and I just hit the home button. Okay. A couple other really quick things is on here, if you expand this little tiny tab here, there's one called Visual Style. I'm going to turn it off. You can see something disappeared on there, and I'm going to turn it back on. So Visual Style is back on. Okay. Now what I can do now is I can grab this one, Visual Style, and I go, well, I want some edges on there so it's a little bit easier to see. The other thing I could do is I go to wireframe so I could see inside it, things like that. So I always like using shaded with edges. Okay, so there we go. So that's just the very basics right now. You can rotate things around with shift key and my mouse button, zoom in and out, stuff like that. Hit the home button to find stuff. And the last thing I guess is I want to edit this. How do I do that? Well, I go back to this one called box, and I can double click it. And what I can do then is just simply come into here and say, I really wanted that to be 0.1. Okay, and I can hit the OK button. Now you can see it's really smaller, and when I hit finish, now you can see it automatically updates stuff. Okay, so that's kind of how you can quickly change things, and we'll discuss more about this in the next tutorial. So that concludes our introduction to Autodesk Inventor.